likes you. Do you mind just working part-time in the company? He didn't know that my dad was also in the business. So I said, yeah, why not? Let me see if I'd like to do the work or not. So I went inside there, and yeah, you get to like it. You get to like the business. It's a very different business than anything else. If you're an engineer, you sit on your butt and you work like crazy. And if you're a financial officer, you sit in front of a computer and you work, and so on and so forth. But the diamond industry is an industry that takes you all over the place. I mean, Kunming does more than me. He goes traveling into mines and into Dead Sea liquid crystal. I've seen it. I've never taken it. All right, and it's very sharp, by the way. It's very sharp. You do financing, you do designing, you're involved in numbers, people, relationships, and you have relationships. As a basic, if you ask a person in the diamond business what's the main backbone, is relationship, and that's what carries you on, and that's what carries us on. So that's personally what we do, and we continue the business. Frankly, I would like to hear from you what you'd like to ask at this point, at this stage. Kunming, is there anything else you'd like me to ask?
How is the condition of the diamond business now?
Super, fantastic. Next question.
I thought the people are screaming and saying that no more business.
Tell me which diamantier has ever said the business is super and fantastic. Every single time, listen, people eat, and when they say we have to go on a diet, we go on a diet. I used to be much bigger before, but now I lost some weight. Diamond business is going through a cyclical motion like any other commodity business. That's it. It's done. You can't help it. You can't expect everything else to drop. In fact, the diamond business was going through a negative growth that was unexplainable the past 2 years before the slowdown, because everything else was going down and diamond prices was going up. And all of us were pretty much reluctant, hesitant to see what's happening. Was we figured the prices have to come down because some of the prices were going, as Mr. Greenspan said, it was exuberance. All right, it was craziness that people were going after roundstones. And Mr. Day would hear this. I used to have people that used to have beautiful, these are rough, gorgeous rough. It's going to make a super 5-carat hard shape. And he goes, no, I'm not cutting hard shape. He goes, why? I'm cutting to 380 round. So why are you cutting to 380 round? You can make a beautiful hard shape. I can get more money from a 380 round than I did from a hard shape. But it's a beautiful, what do I care? So everyone was cutting rounds. Why? Because the China market was buying it, and they were buying it. It should be a vacuum cleaner. They were sucking up dry the whole market. And it was a very, very small part of the production of diamonds. Very small production, all right? And they were consuming about 80%, 70-80% of all the top quality diamonds the Chinese market was after. But when the Chinese market stopped buying, there was no secondary market. Everyone was buying as per normal, so prices for rounds have to come down. Fancy shapes, for example, never shot up in price because that wasn't the demand in the market. So you could buy a 5-carat collection color fancy shape for 150,000 US a carat, and a roundstone is 300 over thousand a carat for the same quality. Does it make sense? No, didn't make sense. But people still wanted rounds. So that's what it. So it had to come down. It came down.
Is that it's all about supply and demand?
No.
For lighting or is not?
No. It's supply and demand in the traditional sense, correct. But you have fashion, you have tastes, you have people saying, I want rounds. Does it make sense? The quantum of rounds they want doesn't make sense. Because that small percentage that the Chinese were buying pulled up the whole 90% of the market. The biggest market in the world is where?
America.
It's America. Americans buy over 50% of all polished diamonds in the world, but they buy a different quality than the Chinese.
They buy the below the 90%.
They buy the below 90% because they are smart. Because they are smart. They buy the below 90%. Because they said, I'm buying for the beauty. Because when Americans buy, they buy for the beauty. They buy for they would buy a piece of jewelry from a famous designer that's a stunning piece, and you see a black PK in the center of the stone. You show to any Asian diamond dealer or jeweler, go black. Go black. Why so much? But when you show it to a connoisseur of German jewelry, they'll see that's a fantastically made piece. It's gorgeous. So what about the diamond?